Hi and welcome. My name's Vicky Haspels and welcome to this week's weekly tarot guidance. My deck that I'm using is the Mythic Tarot. There it is there. And each week I like to pull a couple of cards and look at the energy that's around us and motivating us and influencing us at the moment using the tarot. One's already jumped out. We'll just quickly look at that one. So that's building something stronger. So just overall, I'm just going to quickly say about that. The Page of Pentacles is that just before we start, that please do not try and force yourself into something just yet that you're trying to make yourself into. It will reel itself in the right time. It's just that it's still forming, it's still bubbling away. So be kind to yourself. So here we are, 6 cards, and I've just shuffled the deck, and I like to pull 6 cards randomly from the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is for week commencing the 18th of May 2020. It's a little bit later than I like to post it up on YouTube, but that's the way that things go. Sometimes it's a bit slow. So we'll start. This is where we are, like where you are and where I am. And the first card that's here is the 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords is telling me this, the energy around this card where we are is that it can be like it's stressful. It is our mind is racing with things, can be a bit anxious, but it is reminding us that we actually have control over our thoughts and where they go. So again, your thoughts might be trying to take you somewhere. Remember the Page of Pentacles popped out of the deck as I was shuffling it. If you're trying to make something or force yourself into a particular way when you're really not ready just yet, this card is reminding you that it's going to cause extra anxiety if you try and force yourself or pigeonhole yourself into something. It's just not the right time. The Page of Pentacles energy is really good for building, as I said, building that foundation. Now, the motivating energy, or the what I like to think as our soul or our guidance around us at the moment, the universal, like the collective consciousness energy that's driving us all forward as one, is the 7 of Swords. Now looking at this card here, I'm just going to tune into the meaning of it. This is really, if you've got something that you'd like to do, excuse me, it's funny that I'm coughing, hang on a tick. The 7 of Swords is all about how you speak about something and speaking your truth. So here, this card is reminding us that collectively we might have plans, but to try and articulate them at the moment is very difficult. So try different things out, but don't try and land on one thing. You're stressing yourself out by trying to land on one thing. The 7 of Swords is reminding us, or the energy around us, the universal energy, is about you haven't quite landed on what your truth is. It's funny that my throat chakra started to play up as I started to talk about it, because that is where our truth lies. And so the 7 of Swords, it means just you can write it down in your journal, excuse me, or you can write it down as on a vision board or something like that. But it's not necessary to articulate it to the world, because it's just going to go nowhere and it's not going to sound like it makes any sense. Now here we have the blocks and challenges area of this week, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles energy, the blocks and challenges around this week, Knight of Pentacles energy is trying to establish something, trying to get something happening long term. It's impossible. This card is saying it's impossible. Again, I'm going to go back to the Page of Pentacles that turned up at the beginning as the one that jumped out of the pack. You're building the base, you're building your building blocks, you're gathering your resources together. Is not time to try and turn it into something solid. So make a list, write it down, work out and decide what works for you, what doesn't. Sit on it for a bit, let it bubble away in your consciousness. otherwise, if you don't, if you try and force it into a center, it's like forcing a round peg into a square hole. You're just going to create anxiety in yourself and a stick to hit yourself with. Saying, oh, I can't do this, I'm no good. No, the challenge is that it's not really time for long-term plans just yet. It is still in the planning stage. And even trying to, as I said, trying to articulate it, it's just going to sound weird to you. So just take your time. Planning, let it bubble away. How you're going to respond. So because all this is happening here and there's a level of frustration that goes with it, we have the Lover's card. So how you will respond is by looking at what your choices are. This card here is telling me that there are some choices, or you're trying to pigeonhole yourself into something that doesn't really suit you anymore, but you haven't quite got it just yet. So all of this sort of frustration and anxiety and not really making much sense of things is causing you to look outside of what your normal parameters would be, what your normal knowing would be. So it's taking away your tunnel vision and making you, or like almost like forcing you or directing you to see what else is possible. The Lovers are always about choice. There's not always just one way of going, and your thoughts at the moment are telling you that it should only be one way, and you're trying to pigeonhole yourself. The universe is reminding you, and you're actually going to respond in a really positive way, in a really constructive way. Okay, what else is out there? Because the feeling I'm getting from this card is that the way that you want to go or think that it should go is not mature enough. You're actually ready for something a little bit more substantial and has more body to it. The outcome, the possibility. So what's going to happen for you, or for all of us actually, is it means that we will have, and we have skills, but we're not only have skills, we're building skills and we're recognizing skills. So this card is showing us that once we open up the parameters of our choices, we will have more opportunities. Not only will we have more opportunities, but those opportunities are going to show themselves to us simply because we are going to be able to display our skills. It's you having to dig deep this week to say, okay, what is it that I'm actually good at? What is it that I really want to do? The way I've always done things obviously isn't working for me anymore. What else can I do? How else can I apply it? What skills do I have that I'm not actually using at the moment? All come out, and that's where you're heading, is that you have something to contribute. You have skills that you don't even remember or don't realize that you have, or that you don't realize that are valuable, and that means that leads to choices. And this is all about work. This whole spread that I'm doing today is about what work you're looking for, how you're making money, how you're going out there and making a living for yourself, or even making a career for yourself. Or how is it that you what effort you want to put into something in order to receive a gain from it. That's this card here. Now, spiritually, universally, what our life path, life journey, big picture. Here we go here. We've nearly had all of the court cards except for the Queen turning up for the Pentacles this time. So where we are heading, like universally, we are, or spiritually, we are looking for more financial independence. It doesn't always have to be like big money coming in, but we're looking where we have autonomy in our work, where we are the boss, or the people that we work for give us more credit than we're actually getting at the moment. And so there's that real sort of push to recognize. And it's not that somebody external is going to be showing this to you, because this card is sitting in the spiritual meaning of the week. It means that you begin to recognize what your value is, that you actually can contribute something that is quite substantial and put you in a good independent space, that it is worthwhile, and that actually will make a difference in the world. So this is the big push behind everything. My feeling is that the ideas that you've been having, me too, the ideas that we've been having collectively have been great, but they're not sounding like they've got any sort of momentum, because we're trying to bring them into being with old thinking. And so all the frustration and the anxiety that comes with it is forcing us out of our old way of thinking. And that's great. That's what life is all about. It's just sort of just give us a little bit of a nudge out of our current perspective in opening up those parameters of what we can see and what's possible. The way forward, if you'd like to sort of help yourself moving forward with this, is to use the energy of the Seven of Swords. It's not about telling this person and that person and that person, because when we start like broadcasting our ideas or broadcasting our next step or our plans, it's great for sounding boards, but unless it's actually sort of has a solid foundation, it's going to go splat and go nowhere. So the Seven of Swords card is reminding us that we don't need to broadcast it everywhere. It's about writing it down, looking at it, letting it mull over, letting it bubble away in your subconscious. If it doesn't make any sense, let those steps or those ideas bubble away. They will eventually start to, the ones that are viable will start to make sense. And if it doesn't happen this week, there's definitely a push for it to happen in the coming weeks. It doesn't always magically happen, but this is the energy of this week. It's us pushing us in that space. It's like we're having, where we are maturing as individuals. We are maturing that we can actually work, function, contribute, make a difference as autonomous beings, still within a collective and still within a community. But we don't have to keep looking for permission outside of ourselves. We will end up being our own boss, and that's fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you. Thank you for joining me. I will have another one for next week. My name is Vicky Haspels. My website is vickyhaspels.com. Please come and have a look at my website. Have a look at I've got lots of little freebies and things on there. Lots of tools, courses, shows you what I do. And sign up for my newsletter. Go to my Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. Have a look around there as well. Have little things up there as well. But again, thank you for joining me. I'll leave that with you. Have a great week. And until next time, with love. Goodbye.